Good afternoon, everybody. This is Josh here from Unleashed speaking. Just here to host and introduce you guys to ProspectSoft today. We have on the line with us Stuart McLaren, joining from ProspectSoft. Say hello, Stuart.
Hi everybody. Good afternoon.
So basically, the idea for today was to introduce our customers to one of our integration partners who I think is probably, of all of the CRMs out there, one of the most robust cloud-based CRMs. And certainly in terms of integrations with Unleashed, the one that has gone the furthest to integrate on a two-way basis. Even to the point where when somebody who is on a beast like, say, Salesforce, for example, during the sales process, I will often recommend people to Prospect CRM because just that level of integration is really fantastic. I'm not going to spoil too much of Stuart's content by going into the detail there, but we work very, very closely together. We've got hundreds of shared users across many industries. And although we may talk a lot during the sales process about third-party integrations, it's not very often that we get the chance to show our existing customer base the capabilities out there. And who better to showcase their software than Stuart McLaren, Sales and Marketing Director at ProspectSoft. So he's going to be taking you through what they can do for you as a organization selling B2B and needing to manage a pipeline pre-sale, and how that will push us through to Unleashed and just enables a much smoother process for sales through to fulfillment, and all of the great benefits within the software kind of from there on out. So I think without any more introductions from myself, I'll hand over to Stuart to get right into it.
Perfect. Thanks. Appreciate that, Josh. Let me just grab control. Perfect. Yeah, so as I say, thanks, Josh, for that intro. We're today I'm hoping we're not going to do a whole heap of PowerPoint. I wanted to get into the product and sort of try and run through a bit of a day in the life of a CRM user, somebody in sales or marketing, typically. I mean, there's a little bit of information over there on the right-hand side, like Unleashed, we're a zero connected app, and we have all the certifications you'd want, and where we host our stuff is one of the public clouds. So there's a whole page on security if you want more information on that on our website. But I mean, I guess the question I'd perhaps ask is, why are you here? Why did you register for the webinar today? And I hope that most of you are interested in looking at what CRM can do for your business because you're interested to grow your business from the front end through sales and marketing, as well as obviously growing it with what Unleashed can do in terms of organizing you for operations. And we think that the combination of Unleashed and the Prospect CRM is so powerful that hopefully you'll all want to get on board. So we do tag ourselves as the stock-aware CRM, and obviously Unleashed is an inventory system, and it kind of makes us work in a bit of a niche, because unless you are selling products from stock to other businesses, then our CRM, is going to start, at least for a good proportion of your business, because that's really what our CRM is focused on, helping you to do more of. And I think in terms of that sort of stock-aware business using Unleashed inventory, for example, we like to think that where ordinary CRM kind of ends, in terms of managing your sales team and your marketing, we sort of begin then by taking and using the information, that rich set of data that you've got in Unleashed, and using it in the front office to help all the sales and marketing guys. And I don't know if any of you have heard of one of the latest acronyms, I guess, RFM. Some people used to use RFV, but recency, frequency, and monetary value. In terms of a business selling from stock, those are the things that will help them grow by looking at customers and trying to increase the recency, the frequency, and the value of orders. Obviously, also trying to get new customers in the door. But in terms of the information that we can get from Unleashed, and we will talk a little bit about new customers and how we can help you get them through the door. The way that the categorization works for RFM, and I've only brought this up to show you because we use this categorization in the system. And you'll all be kind of familiar, clearly at the top of the tree, your best customers are your champions. Some people call them advocates, I think. But, they are the biggest spenders, buy most often. And there's some actionable tips over there on the right-hand side that may or may not be appropriate to your particular business. And then you kind of come down through potential loyal customers, recent customers who are not perhaps bought repeatedly, promising, customers needing attention, and then about to sleep, at risk. Can't lose them are a particular categorization where they have been a big customer, making lots of purchases of a decent size and often, but it's stopped and they haven't been back for a while, and we really don't want to lose those customers. So the hibernating are people that haven't bought for quite a while, and lost means that we didn't get to them quick enough. So those are the categorizations that we use by analyzing the data that we're getting from Unleashed, and we'll use a little bit of that. And I should say that if at the end of this, I'll encourage you guys to take a free trial. I know some of you are already on free trial. We'll be able to bring in your existing Unleashed data and give you this intelligence from day one. So it's not a kind of something that we need to set up. So let's get into the system and run through some of that stuff and see what we've got. This system it's a demo system that Josh and I set up. There's an Unleashed behind it for a company that some of you may have heard of before, Just My Jam, and we sell jam making equipment and jam and the bits and bobs for people that either make jam or sell jam. So there's not huge amounts of data in here, but there's enough for us hopefully to have a look at the kind of thing that we can do, for you with your Unleashed data. So yes, I get a dashboard when I land, and it tells me what tasks I've got, either today, overdue, or coming up. Takes me to have a look at where I've been recently. Not that I was practicing or anything earlier. And then some stats on how we're doing this month so far. I wanted to start, we also give this increasing and decreasing revenue down the bottom here, which tells me of customers that have been increasing. And this is a year on year, so it's looking back a year from today. Actually, this demo data, everybody's increasing because they're all relatively new customers. So everything's increased versus last year because it's kind of a new company, I guess. And so everyone's increasing at the moment. But that doesn't mean that we can't get some more intelligent information by looking in our report libraries over here. And if I go into the marketing library, and here I've got the customers by RFM segment. So if I just close the filters off, this gives you an example for our customer base of people that are in those categories. And it tells me how many days since their last order. And I could drill into any of these and have a look and see, when they last placed an order. So we've got one here, about to sleep. We'll have to do something about that. And we've got a potential loyalist here. If I drill into them, this is the CRM record that is linked to the Unleashed record. And so I pull in a full transaction history of what this customer has been buying. They're a Euro customer, so I can see that. And I can drill across to Unleashed to open any of these orders and invoices to have a look and see what was on them. But we've got the full information here. And I can even do a bit of analysis on each customer. What are the things that they buy most often, showing in my home currency? and what is their order pattern. So what do they buy month by month? And so you can see they haven't really bought very much. And then recently they've had quite a big order. And so in terms of the analysis, we're saying that they're a potential loyalist. They're moving up the customer profile. And, you know, we should give them a bit of attention because they potentially could become a bigger customer and a more loyal customer, spending more and more frequently. I've also got, just before we delve into a bit of action, another report that's in my reports because it's filtered for me as an account manager. And this is showing me predictive churn alerts. So I've got one customer that I'm the account manager for that I need to take some action on fairly smartly because they haven't placed an order in the last 24 days. And on average, they place orders every 5 days with us. We've set the warning that, in fact, it's the AI. So PAGE, by the way, stands for the Prospect AI Growth Engine. And it's the AI that will automatically calculate, based on the profile of orders that have been coming in from this customer, what the alert level should be. So this customer basically has been loyal, haven't placed an order for a while. There could be something going wrong there. So I should get onto them and go and see them or call them and see if anything's wrong or if a competitor's got in there. And so these are the kind of things that we can use that information on the history from Unleashed to help us grow the business, basically. So that was a little bit of information on existing data. What I'm going to do now is just run through a scenario of finding a potential new customer, putting them into the system, and then I'll log an opportunity against them. We'll kind of run through that opportunity. We'll do a quotation to them, and we'll take an order, and we'll be pushing all of that through to Unleash. So at the moment, they don't exist anywhere. They're somebody who's called up or that I've met at a show or whatever the introduction was. And you can run, incidentally, marketing campaigns through this system for e-shotting and, you know, events and those kind of things. But I'm going to add them as a new contact. In true Blue Peter style, I've got an email address here for an actual company. So we perhaps won't send him an actual email. But if I put the email address in and run through that field, then the system will search all the social media platforms to see if it can find anybody using that email address across the social media platforms. And indeed, it's found Stute Foods, and it's Lawrence Hibbs, who is the managing director at Stute Foods. So we'll put in that he's a Mr. It didn't know that. I shall put him down in terms of categorization for marketing. He's the managing director, so I'm going to make him the main decision maker. And it should have got his address. I'm going to make myself as the account manager, and we'll create. Sorry, he's going to be a prospect at the moment. So we'll create that record. Now, in the CRM, we run a hierarchical database that allows me to have multiple contacts and even multiple sites for each customer. And so you'll see at the top here, there's a sort of a pseudo breadcrumb trail. And all three levels of this hierarchy got created just now. So at the top of our tree, we have their whole company group, and that's plucked that from their website. So it tells me a little bit about them. And we've just got some categorization here. Then at the next level down, if I just close that, we've got the division that we're dealing with, and it can have multiple divisions for one company. And so these guys are based near Bristol. And I've got their website, and we can jump off to their website if we want to see what they do. Surprise, surprise, they do jam. And then we've got a contact, which was where the system put us because we put a new record in for Lawrence Hibbs, the managing director. So it was quick and easy, actually, to get a lot of information into the system there. I literally put his email address in, and not very much else. And I've got a whole hierarchy of data now about him and his company. And I could add his colleagues into the same division if I knew lots of people that work there. But we're going to actually log an opportunity against Lawrence. And so I'm going to say that I want to add a new opportunity on this record for Lawrence, and he wants some jam making equipment from us. So that's what the opportunity is about. Yeah, I am going to deal with it. And so in terms of our types of opportunity, it is for jam making equipment and it's new business. So I'm going to put it into my new business workflow pipeline, which starts at unqualified. I can give a guesstimate here of this kind of size of the deal I think it might be. So I'm going to say I'm hoping for a £5,000 to £10,000 order from him in the course of this opportunity. And then we can say when we're hoping to get the order from him. So at the moment, that's towards the end of February. Actually, I'm a bit hopeful that we're going to be able to get it this week. So we'll say Thursday. In fact, I may even get it today. And I'm quite confident. So I'm going to set our infamous gutometer, my salesman's gut feeling, at 50%. And our pipeline reporting will take this value, so the average value between 5 and 10 that we put in, and the 50% likelihood, and it'll add that into the pipeline for January so that I get a reasonable pipeline once you've got a few opportunities going on of exactly what potential business I've got coming in, and I can segment it by, in this case, you know, the jam making equipment or whatever. So we've logged the opportunity. Things that you can do on this that are worth mentioning. If I was on the phone to Lawrence and I wanted to go and see him, then we are linked to calendar functionality, so you can create an appointment in here and invite Lawrence, and it'll go into my calendar system, into my Outlook in my case, with all the information, and obviously be created from the CRM so that we know what we're doing. I can set kind of next to-dos as well. So you can see at the moment, because it's unqualified, this record requires a recaller to do. And here's where I set the next action. In fact, if I tried to just leave this in the system, it will tell me that I have to set the next to-do. So if I set that for me, and please call about a quote. And I can set it for tomorrow or whatever. But that's now on my to-do list, and so I can't forget it. And if I just go up, if I was going to make that appointment with him, bit of functionality that's worth showing at this stage is if I go up to the division where Lawrence works, and let's just make sure that we've got an address in for these guys. Yeah, we have. Sorry, let me just, I'm not sure why that hasn't picked up there. Yes, that is them. Sorry, so what I've got at the division, having made an appointment perhaps with Lawrence, is a list of nearby divisions. And so what this can tell me is how far away they are, but also what is their categorization. And so if I'm going to see Lawrence, I might say, do you know what, I'm going to call in and see one of Josh's champions, and I'm going to go and see these guys who are about to go to sleep. And obviously I can drill through straight to their division and see what their transaction history is. I mean, interestingly, for Ozone Coffee, before I went to see them, it definitely would be useful for me to know that there's an outstanding order here. I can see that we've got some things on order that have not been delivered or invoiced yet. They placed the order 7 days ago and it's due for delivery in 2 days. And in actual fact, if I wanted to have a look at the order, I can open that in my Unleashed. And here's the very order. And you can see that the due delivery date in the header is set indeed for the 31st. So, you know, we've got that dynamic link straight through to Unleashed, but I've got the information here as a salesman to know that I don't need to worry about these orders because he's not expecting them for 2 days if I go to see him. In fact, I could even, if I just wanted to be belt and braces, just make sure that I've got enough in stock. And if I go to the item, again, I could open it Unleashed, but I can see we've got 533 of those in stock. So there's not going to be a problem supplying his too. So I'm just trying to kind of show you the amount of information that we share from Unleashed into the front office. And so I could pick here the people that I wanted to go and see at the same time. So let's fast forward and assume that we've come back to this. I'm going to move it through a few stages. So we'll say it's now in the sales process, and we need to do this quotation for him. So I'm going to add a quotation to this opportunity. It's assuming that it's in my home currency, pounds, which it is in this case. And what I'm going to put on this is the automatic jam and jelly making machines, and in fact they want quite a few of those, 50 of those, and so you can see that's our £6,000 order, so our guesstimate wasn't too far wrong. Now I can send this to Lawrence. I won't do that because Lawrence is a real man, and he might wonder why I'm quoting him for a jam and jelly making piece of equipment, but I'll show you the template. So we've got a basic email quote, and this will simply put the items in the body of the email, and I could send it to Lawrence, send a copy to myself and a copy to whoever. We can add attachments, and it'll go through. If you default to have a copy sent to yourself, you can have it going through into your sent items, but it will be saved in the CRM against this record so anybody can see it. We could also send a sort of more comprehensive document if we wanted to. I'll perhaps just show you very quickly. You know, I've got a kind of a 20-page proposal type document if we wanted to. And so you can set as many templates up as you like. These templates are set in Microsoft Word or in our email editing functionality for an email. This will automatically open Word and bring that template in and then merge the fields from the CRM that we've set on that particular template. So you'll see it'll be addressed to Stoop Foods, Lawrence, and you can have whatever you like in here about your business, and then it's got the pricing and show tax. But again, you can decide which columns and whether you have a separate totaling or whatever. And so we could send that, or I could actually, having created it and stored it in the CRM, I could now email it to him straight out of here as a PDF because it's one of my stored documents against him. So I've got it here. Having got through all that, again, kind of fast forwarding a little bit, Lawrence is delighted with the price I've given him and would like to go ahead with this order. Now, you might remember that I created this record, so at the moment he doesn't exist in Unleashed at all. And definitely you might want to choose carefully who has this functionality, but I'm going to do it. You could restrict it to the accounts team, and you could have a step in your workflow that is to send the opportunity notification to the accounts team to set up a new account. But you can actually do it from here, taking all the information that we've got across from the CRM. And so we'll call them Stoot01. And that's right, he's a UK pounds, 20% on that. And so we'll create that account. And that literally dynamically creates a new account, and we'll set it as the default one for Stoot. And so we've got an account. You would probably go and do your credit checks and set their credit limit, etc., etc. But I can open it on Unleashed now, and that account exists as a customer in Unleashed, ready to be used. So now that we've got it, we can indeed use it. And so this quotation, you'll notice the confirm button has come alive, and I'll take an order number from Lawrence and we'll confirm this order through. And so this is now writing the order dynamically into Unleashed for us. And that'll come through presently. Did I click it? Well, while that's confirming the order, let me just make sure that I did actually click confirm. Yeah, I don't think I did. What I will do is back on the opportunity, I'm going to mark it as 1, and we are hoping for more business. And so obviously it is now 100%, and that'll all wash through to my pipeline, and actually at that status I can then clear my to-do. So let's just go back to the quotation, and have a quick look at the quote. So that is now a confirmed order, and it's got a green bar across the top. And if I go to the details, again, we can now open this in Unleashed and see the order ready to be processed exactly as you would if you typed an order into Unleashed yourselves, into a picking list, a shipping note, an invoice, whatever your process is through Unleashed. But hopefully I've demonstrated the integration is truly complete, and the two systems kind of work as one, kind of beautifully in harmony, really. And the real power of this CRM is using all that information. So Stoop Foods now will be building their transaction history, and we'll be able to categorize them in that RFM analysis. The final thing I mentioned before I hand back to the PowerPoint and then to Josh, I've concentrated here on sort of the sales process and the integration with Unleashed, which obviously is what today was about. I did just want to mention, though, that there are pieces of functionality in here that you might find useful for service ticketing. So you can log problems that customers have had, and then your sales and back office and customer service staff get a full view of what's going on with the customer, any problems they've had, a damage on delivery or whatever. We can log pieces of equipment, like an equipment register, against customers if you have those. And also there is a fully functioning marketing suite that allows me to build campaigns and campaign activities or waves within campaigns, some of which could be shotting, telemarketing, exhibitions and whatever, and control all of those, register the opportunities against the campaigns that I've run. And because we go all the way through to order, I can actually start reporting on how much business or even profit did we get from that particular campaign. So I hope I've given you a good flavor of what Prospect CRM is about and how closely it works with Unleashed and the kind of integration that we've got. I'm obviously going to encourage you, if you haven't already, to sign up for a free trial at prospectsoft.com. We'll be delighted to integrate your free trial to your Unleashed and give you some of that intelligence that I've just been looking at literally during your 21-day free trial. But without further ado, given that we've got about a minute left, I shall hand back to Josh, and I'll say thank you. I've noticed a few chats popping up while I've been going through, so I don't know if we've got any questions from anybody. Josh, have we?
We have quite a few questions, actually. Yeah,
Okay.
I don't know if we have quite enough time to cover them all. So if for anybody that's asked a question and we don't manage to get to it, obviously, really sorry. I think what we might do is, I imagine Stuart's team, somebody there can probably reach out and set up a time for a session to kind of run through those one-on-one.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. Be delighted.
Some here that would need a bit of unpacking, but I'll start with some, the ones that got in early doors, let's say. So can I still see orders in Prospect CRM, even if the orders haven't come from it? So for example, through B2B or my Shopify site.
Okay, yeah, great question. Yeah, so I mean, the short answer is yes, but it's a good question because obviously I've focused there on putting an order through from the CRM into Unleash. But yes, quite naturally, you could have orders coming into Unleash from elsewhere, like an Unleash B2B site or a Shopify site. And certainly, yeah, we bring all of those in that history. So our transaction history is full wherever the transaction has come from. And even if a new customer is set up via the B2B or a Shopify site, we actually pick up missing customers. So we'll create a new CRM record if we don't already have it and put the history against them. So yeah, you won't be missing any of your information.
Brilliant. And just to kind of ride on that question's coattails as well, there is another one touching on mobile. So would that still apply with the Unleashed mobile sales app? I'm assuming it's the same.
Absolutely. Yes, exactly. Yeah. So if your sales guys are using that for field order taking, yeah, those orders will again come through. Yeah, completely.
Perfect. Okay. Next question from Francis. Can I restrict who is able to see my cost prices?
Yes. So that's actually quite a common question. And particularly, if you allow sales guys some negotiation, not only can you set within a group of users to hide all the cost prices and all the margins, it will also remove them from any reports they run. So they literally will not be able to see any cost or margin prices. But you can also set some minimum margin thresholds so that people can't quote, even though they can't see the cost price, but they can't quote below a particular margin, so that you're not giving stuff away.
Brilliant. Okay. So I know we're overrunning, but I think a good rule of three. I'll get one more
Okay.
I'm not supposed to have favorites, but I think if I did have a favorite question, this would be it. Carl asks us, will any pricing that I set up for customers in my Unleashed account get respected when I'm quoting in Prospect CRM?
Oh, yeah, really important question. Yes. Yeah, totally. The answer is yes. And so, yeah, we would recommend, obviously, that Unleashed is your master record for all of your stock items and your customer pricing. And then as you do a quotation or an order in the CRM, we are referring to Unleashed for the pricing. So if there's a quantity break or whatever, we will respect that price exactly the same as if you'd keyed the order into Unleashed. So yeah, totally, that all washes through exactly as it is.
Perfect. Well, that's great. I mean, thanks very much for showing everyone that, Stuart. That was a really interesting show of not just your system, but the integration as well. So everybody knows, who isn't already aware, Prospect CRM have actually developed this integration themselves. So if you did want to go and talk to them about their system and get a demonstration from them one-on-one, where you can ask more direct questions around your business, I believe that Stuart's team are also able to demonstrate that integration in more depth as well.
Yeah, 100%.
So for anybody that asked questions we didn't get time to answer, I'm really, really sorry about that. We will get somebody to reach out to you and kind of discuss in more details. But I would just say that for everybody joining us in the UK, have a great lunchtime. Anybody further afield, have a great afternoon. And thanks very much for watching.
Yeah, thank you, everybody. And thank you, Josh.